Okay, so now we've got our client Jure looking back into the camera. Okay, girl, you better. All right, last thing that I need is oil for Jure's scalp. I don't know oil. I would prefer the glossifier, but I don't want to take on a wild goose chase because I just be putting myself in different places.
That's what she said.
You look like Chef Boyardee with that shower cap on. Would he be having his hat on the side like that?
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee.
Nah, T.I. Well,
no, it's a Ray J.
Somebody had it right on that knot. They got two knots right here. One of them put it right on that right hand knot. I mean, just cool too. Like a suction cup. Sucking on the knot. Exactly.
So, whenever I get finished with my lock clients, if they have dry scalp, like Jure, I'll use this Therapeutics or that Kira glossifier to get their scalp.
We put the glossifier on.
The glossifier by Kira.
The other one, not the There's two totally different things up there. Did you not know that?
One is cream press.
Yeah,
cream press. Glossifier. This is a high sheen glossifier.
Yeah.
This one is just like for moisturizing and shining the hair. But the other one that comes in the green container that I had gotten, that one is actually for dry and itchy scalp. But she sent me the wrong one.
Have you tried that edge control?
I have, but I don't really be edge controlling much stuff. So
I like the black panther. You edge control with your braids?
It was good.
No. When I use braids, 9 times out of 10, I use Design Essentials Daily Moisturizing Lotion because I try to braid in a manner to where the hair lays down on its own. And I'm just adding a little moisture to like make the flyaways lay down. And then if there are any itty bitty flyaways, then I get it with my foam at the end.
So you don't slay them?
I think I'd be slayed.
So you just do it straight back?
What do you mean straight back?
Like instead of little swoopy or curls, you just do it straight back?
I don't do any of that. No.
So you don't be slaying.
Whatever. That I guess my clients are okay with all that. I have mature women that don't need baby hair. Okay. You want some baby hair, Jure?
I don't got none.
Yes, I do.
I don't want none.
Okay. My clients are business ladies. They do not want no curly cues and loops and all of that in their hair. They just want their hair to be neat. That's it. So I'm just working this through on Jure's scalp again. I didn't like double dip into that. I just went into it one time and got enough.
So this is the first, this is the first time though you use that, right, Miss D?
The Therapeutics?
Yes, ma'am.
On Jure? Oh no, we used to use this all the time, but then I switched over to the glossifier because it's so hard to get a hold of Design Essential products all the time.
No, I mean like during her process.
Oh yes, because I feel like if you put oil on the hair before they go to the dryer, oil helps to seal in moisture, and I think it takes them longer to dry. Okay. Some people it's okay because their hair is a little bit more porous and it lets go of that water like that. But like Jure, her hair is piled up on top of each other. It's kind of porous. And then especially because we did hair color. And anytime you do hair color, it changes the porosity of the hair slightly.
Oh, I put the oil on before so it's like a hot oil treatment.
That works too, but it does make them take a little bit longer to dry. Yeah. So I try to stay away from the oil if and when I can. And if I do, it's just on the scalp. Because there'll be some...
Before I braid too.
Yep, and then so after I get done, most of my clients, if they have a healthy scalp that doesn't need a little extra attention and love, then I'll just take the hot 10 oil and I'll just rub it through and I'll work it through everybody's scalp. And then, and then I'll work it through the whole head because I like the locks to look shiny and healthy all the way through so that they don't look kind of dull. And I don't go crazy with the oil to where they lean back on the back seat. It's going to be an oil spot on the thing. But I will spray the heck out of it with that dye machine because that dye machine moisturizes the hair too. That's why I don't buy Reflections anymore because the clients have been complimenting us on that dye machine and it is selling like hotcakes. Like it goes fast. So I'm paying attention and I am actually moisturizing Jure's scalp because Jure's scalp is a little bit more sensitive. You can actually see where she flakes up and gets a little bit irritated because she has a little bit of skin discoloration right there. So I make sure to oil all that up. Okay. So did everybody see the picture of Jeray's hair, the style that she wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she wants a pretty much a double Dutch braid here, a double Dutch braid here, and one here. Then we pull it up and work it into a bun. Okay. So
so you're doing like 5 braids into a bun?
It's gonna be like 4 up into a bun. I gotta get my elastic thingies.
Would that be dope though? Like
oh no, those aren't thick enough.
With the two
Oh yeah, it has a lot of hair, so rubber bands might work, but they're too thin because her hair is really thick.
Or is it just a twist? Like a French twist or something?
It's not a fishtail?
Nah, it wasn't.
What?
Throwing all these names at me.
Of course. It's
like
fishtail-ish.
These are the elastic bands right here because her hair is thicker. So if you have, if you're doing like a small braid or something, you need to hold it. Then a rubber band would be more ideal for that. But if you're doing like a big lock to where you gotta grab it like that, you want to have an elastic band because the rubber band, I think, breaks off locks.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a big old thing and then we gotta stretch that rubber band all tight on it, and then these last longer in the style. Even though I recommend that people do not wear their styles any more than a week, because however the locks sit is how they lock up. And then if their hair is already mature on the ends, and then we twisting them nice and skinny like this and pulling it up into a style, it's gonna lock skinny just like this, and then her lock gonna be big on the end like this. And it is not going to ever swell back up to this. I have tried it. Only way it works is the holistic way. If you ever put too much tension on somebody's hair, or they keep their hair locked up and twisted up into a style for 3 months, the only way for them to get their texture back is to stop twisting their hair for like 3 to 6 months. So that hair can grow out and kink back up because you kind of train the texture too much out of it. So you got to just let it be free so it'll go back wild again, so to speak. Meaning
no retwist for it?
No retwist.
Okay.
It's one lady in I don't remember her name, but she does like what's the name of a bird with big eggs?
Goose.
A stork egg, goose egg, ostrich egg oil. She does that on their head for like 3 months.
Ain't that big?
I was just thinking the same.
I don't know what a goose egg is. I know
ostrich
egg
is huge. Yeah, because in Willy Wonka they had those big old golden eggs.
You really remember that?
What happened was, and they look geese.
Okay. So if you guys don't have elastic bands and you're going to start doing locks, you really want to start investing in getting you a couple of these. Every time I'm in Family Dollar, I look for them, and you do not want to put the ones with the metal piece on it on your locks because it breaks off the hair. So I always get the ones that are just kind of like mended together. Okay, so let me see your style.
There's 2 barrel rolls in the back, and then you put it in a bun.
Those are not barrel rolls.
Double Dutch.
Yeah. Either a double Dutch or a fishtail. Because the barrel rolls are more round. And then if we did barrel rolls on it, it'll be raised up. So yeah, it's like a double Dutch. But I don't like how it's like raised up like this. I'm trying to put my own swag on it. So even though they show me what they want. Huh?
That's the part that looks dope.
I don't like it. Jeray, you like it? That's what you want me to do? Exactly like that?
It's free, so whatever you
Okay, girl, because Jeray trusts me. She don't put my own flag on it. And then I also be thinking, when they go to sleep at night, I want them to sleep comfortably. Yeah. And if you do anything raised up, if you do anything raised up, it's going to be uncomfortable, and they got to find a different way to sleep. So, okay.
I've been drowning in my chest.
You
trying to
put
put
them
my
all back up? Let me talk about, just hold the style up for a few minutes so I can talk about the details of how you determine what you're going to do in reference to the style. So I already know that it's 4 pieces, and Jeray's hair is not perfectly parted right in the middle. So I have to like...
Are you on the zigzag part?
Yep, hers is not straight, and then the sides, okay. So when I look at this style, you have to be able to look at the style and notice, like, okay, this back part, you can't make the mistake of taking this part and bringing it over here. And so when I start sectioning Jeray's hair, I noticed that the front part of this style pretty much stops right behind this young lady's ear. She's only taking one lock and bringing it up. And that's probably just because they need a little bit of fullness. And also because this right here probably would have been 3 or 4 locks, but this young lady's hair is thin right here, so they made that one lock. So Jeray's hair is not like that. So it's probably going to be at least 3 locks. But if you look at the style, it actually stops right behind the girl's hair. So you got to look at those small details first. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to section her hair to where it is right behind it. And then it looks like the braids in the front are actually coming straight up from the sides. Her locks are a little bit bigger, but the braids start like right here in the middle, and then they work their way up, and they neatly come straight up on the side, and the actual double Dutch twist is right on the top of the head. So sometimes we can look at a style like this and make the mistake of pulling it way over here or over there, and so I really enjoy trying to make the style look just like how they want it. I think that's why she brought it in.
How you gonna do the bun?
Well, I'll explain that once I get to that point. One step at a time. Pretty much gonna put it in a ponytail, but put it in a ponytail and wrap it nice and neat. So all of these parts right here, then you have to keep in mind, you gotta talk to them about the style and say, hey, like just how I pointed that out to you guys, you know, I have to point it out to her, what is gonna work for her hair and what's not gonna work for her hair, because sometimes they want things that their hair just will not do, or it's just not conducive. So it's okay to do it, but they need to know why it may or may not look the same, because to them, if you don't break it down to them, it's like you just didn't do it right or you don't know what you're doing. But if you explain it to them, they're like, okay, you know what, that does make sense. I don't have thick locks like that, so my style isn't going to come out the same. So,
like if you make 2 buns in front and then have the back like twisted down there, keep.
Okay, Trey, I'm gonna have you lean forward for me. So it's okay to make your client ask them to move forward and stuff to so that you can easily get the style done. And I'm just oiling it up a little bit right here because her scalp is still a little dry from being up under the dryer. So boom, I'm gonna start with the right side. Jeray's hair is not perfect down the middle, but it's somewhat. But sometimes you don't want it to be perfect down the middle, because if you do it perfectly down the middle and you didn't start their locks and it's not symmetrical, then it's very possible that you can have a smaller braid over here and a bigger braid over here. But if you started their locks, then you probably know, you know what, this is the same hair on both sides because I started these locks. And I started these locks, so they're pretty symmetrical. So boom, whenever you're braiding from the back of somebody's head or doing a style from the back of someone's head, you always make them stretch the back of their neck as far as it will go. Because if you have them sitting up like this, kind of like the same concept behind twisting the locks and clipping them to the towel, if you have them sitting up like this and then you braid it tight, then it's like, I don't know, but then when they pull it, it hurts. But if it's already stretched out, then you can pull it tight, then if anything, it's going to loosen up whenever they sit their head back. Okay?
And you don't grab that neck meat.
Yep, and you don't grab neck meat. Okay. So I'm grabbing can you guys come closer? I want y'all to come see this because Jeray needs somebody to style her hair while I'm away. So I really need y'all to get these details.
Are we going to do the same style?
Depends on what picture Jeray give you. Okay.
She said probably not.
Yeah. So on the ends, you see Jeray has this right here that I'm probably going to end up cutting off with the trimmers. But I'll start with the inner lock, and I want this to come down the middle. And although her hair is not parted down the middle, the way you start that is right where your locks start, you cross it over right here in the middle, and then that's right where the actual braid is going to start. I'm going to do the same thing on this side so that it's symmetrical, because nobody likes a lopsided hairstyle. The actual definition of beauty is symmetry. Okay? That's why nobody liked the Hunchback of Notre Dame, because they thought he was ugly because he had a hump in his back, because his back wasn't symmetrical.
But it was evenly lumpy.
No, it was not. He had one lump on one side, and then he had the lump on his eye.
Oh, yeah, that did throw it off.
That threw it off. So as you guys see, the hair is nicely twisted. If your client's hair is not dry, then you're not going to be able to make a neat style because you're going to be too busy focusing on trying to twist hair that did not dry and set properly. So it's all in the details. Don't feel like you have to rush. The flawlessness is in the details. And when you get the good details, post it on social media. Don't post your mediocre work because it scares clients away before they even message you. Always post your best work on social media. So we're working our way all the way up, just like most of the double dutches that I do. I grab it and I wrap it to the right. And then I grab the rest and I wrap it to the left. And I'm doing it nice and symmetrical. I'm not piling the hair up in one spot so that these are super thick and big. I'm taking it and I pretty much wrap one time, and then that hair is being pulled to the other side and then up so that it will keep this as small as possible without it looking too super bulky. Because bulky is cool if that's what you're going for in the style, but I like my styles to look neat and dainty so that my clients that have locks feel like they can get the cute little stylish stuff too without feeling like they gotta look like an alien to get a hairstyle. That's how Celisa said it. She was like, we always gotta look like an alien to get our hair done. I was like, I don't, y'all do, because y'all be doing them big old thick things in y'all hair. But some people like them like that. Yeah. So now, boom. Okay, I'm gonna have you hold your head up, and yep, I think I'm gonna stop right there. So now, I'm gonna twist this a little bit more, only because I want it to hold until I come back, but most of this is gonna end up going into the butt. Okay, so I want that to hold right there. So this clip isn't big enough for it, but if I take one and wrap it around and hold it like this, it'll stay. Okay, so now we're gonna do the next part. And if I just pull this straight up like this, all of this is gonna be fuzzy. So I'll slightly twist it so it'll stay neat. I'm not gonna twist with my middle one. I'm gonna bring the one from the outside and bring it over to the middle, and then I'm gonna cross it over right in the middle. Right where you cross it at is where your braid is gonna begin. You want it to be symmetrical to the other side. If this side starts in the middle just like this, then you want this side to start in the middle just like that, because it does not look beautiful or symmetrical. Symmetry is all what it's about with styling. They want it to look the same on one side as the other, unless you purposely design the style not to do that. And if you don't, then you have to have a focal point on your style on purpose. It can't just be random. It can be, but it's got to be like controlled chaos. Okay. So I'm working my way and I'm double dutching around. It's nice and flat because I'm grabbing the lock. And when I grab the lock, I wrap it around, under, and over and forward to the front so that the locks don't bulk up. If you don't do that, her double dutch twist is going to be this size, all the way from the root, all the way up, and it just looks less attractive. Some people prefer that style. Most people don't. They want them to look nice and neat and flat so they can sleep. I like the smaller ones. Do you guys like the bigger ones or the smaller ones?
Both.
Yeah, they can go either way. I like the smaller ones though. Try to keep everything as small as possible. So boom, you're wrapping it around. Why am I out of breath if you're just standing up? And we're gonna work our way around. And we're gonna work our way around again. And then we're almost finished with this section. I like my double dutches to be, you can tell when you wrap them back and forth. And that's going to be about it for this. Those are in this section here. So now we're wrapping and wrapping and wrapping. This will probably get unwrapped some, but it's gonna stay wrapped enough to where I can work it towards my desired style. So now I've got the back done. We made sure that the back of her head was stretched, or the back of her nape was stretched, so that when she sits up or moves forward, it's not pulling her hair. Okay, you can sit up, Jure. Now we're gonna do the front. The front of her hairstyle started here and it started here. So I'm gonna come up to the front and I am going to purposely make it start right here. So I'm gonna take these two and I'm only slightly twisting it because I want it to be nice and neat within the style, but I'm not over twisting it because it's gonna put too much tension on the locks. But if I don't twist it, and sometimes if I just grab it, sometimes I may be grabbing it in a fashion that may make the lock unravel a little bit. So I purposely just kind of make sure it's secure. Then we're going to start here. Go over. Twist this away. Twist that away. And we're going to keep going. This part of her hairstyle is actually a little bit smaller. You just symmetrically and evenly grab the hair as you go until it gets where you want it to be. Now it's crazy that you asked me that, Ari, that how do you do the bun? It is kind of difficult to do the bun because Jure has a lot of hair. The young lady in the picture has less locks and thicker hair. It's probably easier to do her bun.
Why don't you just make it bigger?
Yep. You do. Bigger buns are harder to do. So yes, we do make it bigger, but it's very difficult because your hands get tired of wrapping and twisting, and then you have to determine where am I going to start this bun at so that you won't be able to tell where it begins and where it starts, you know?
What if you do it like this?
That's not what she wanted, though. You could do it like that. That's just like a barrel twist going all the way around. But that is not the bun that she asked for, so I'm not going to do that. I will never remix a style unless I just can't achieve the style that she wants. And even then, I will talk to her about it first. I won't just do it. I'll say, hey, I really don't think I can achieve this, but let me tell you what I can do. And then she can say, I don't want that. So how about we just don't do a style, even though you've been trying for 45 minutes. So take it down now since you don't know what you're doing. Like, yes, ma'am.
I think that was too.
Okay. So you guys have any questions so far as what I've done?
No.
Okay, so Jure has a lot of hair, so I like to invest in the small elastic bands as well as the big elastic bands because a lot of my clients have a lot of locks and rubber bands just won't do. You could try it if you want. It's not healthy for the hair, but not only that, it doesn't work. Because they pop by the time you wrap it around 2 times. Only time I do rubber bands if I know I'm going to cut them out right afterwards and I just want to use it for the style. So, with Jure's hair, you could take all of this hair and put it in a ponytail and then work it out. But I'm not going to do that because I think that is going to be difficult. Now y'all get to see how my brain be working because there is no structure to this. I just kind of do it. So instead, I am going to rubber band this, but I'm going to stretch it out. So now I get my hairband and I put it here, and then I'm like combing this part out so that it's easier to work with once I start trying to maneuver it, because if I leave it in the barrel twist, it's going to be hard to move it around. So now I'm going to take this and I'll make it go as tight as possible. And if it's ugly later and I don't like it and I can see it still, I'll cut it. As much as possible, I try to do my styles where no rubber band show or no elastic band show because it just gives it a cleaner look. It gives it a more professional look whenever you can't see rubber bands and things like that. people that are used to getting their locks styled, that usually come from up north and stuff, they usually be showing you about how to secure their hair with their locks and all of that stuff, because they feel like it's such an accomplishment to be able to tie your own hair with your hair. So boom, I got this one, and that's out. Now, I think what I'm gonna do, I'm like looking at it, so if I were to take all of this and put it in a ponytail, oh, I missed some, that's all right. I missed this little piece right here, I'm still gonna wrap it right around here. Just like that, because we're about to go in a bun anyway. Boom, but it's nice and taut, okay? So, like I said, there's no perfect way to do it. But if I pull all of Dre's hair up in this ponytail,
that's cute right there.
It is going to be too much. But I'm going to have to loosen some of her hair first. So I'm going to say, okay, this is my last stretchy one. This is a big one. Okay, let's see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
Mañana, 9 o'clock. That's what your lady said. Okay, so boom. I like these little skinny ones. They're a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna go through. Huh?
Yeah.
You said you're gonna bring the Hawaiian rolls?
I don't know what she's bringing. I'm bringing any kind of juice or soda.
Okay.
Soda, you guys want soda or you can bring juice? Whatever.
Either one.
Things.
Any vegetable juice or black cranberry juice. If it's cranberry apple, I'll drink black cranberry.
Yeah, no cranberry.
So, orange juice is okay?
So tell me. Anything except cranberry.
Did you say it out?
Okay, then
like,
soda? Yeah,
just Sprite is okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a diet Sprite?
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Okay.
I'm trying to catch a tide too.
Okay.
Trying to spread cancer.
There you go.
Okay, guys. So as you see, whenever I try to put this in, some of her hair try to loosen up, especially the part that I forgot. So I'm like pulling it up, and then I'm gonna twist it, and I'm gonna make it stay. And if it's not staying right now, I'll come back and get it later. So I'm pretty much putting the ponytail and trying to focus on keeping the ponytail in the same spot. I'm still gonna have to loosen some of this because it's too bulky at the base to do a bun with the amount of hair that she has. So now I'm pulling this nice and taut because if you don't get this band tight enough, it's not gonna hold it. But if you get it too tight, it's gonna hurt her head. So I'm only gonna go around one more time. Then I'm gonna start loosening her hair. Like, see, that's all loose, right? But it doesn't have to be super perfect because I know I'm coming back to put that bun right over it. So now I'm gonna go through and I'm kind of pulling through and loosening it up at the scalp as much as I possibly can. Okay, so now the bulk that we have is kind of helping to start create the buns, and you know, this right here is going to be a part of that bun. I think that's the way I envision it right now. Sometimes it don't work the way I envision it, and I have to keep playing with it until I get it right. But because I've been playing around with locks so long, I usually can tell what I need to do to make something happen before I do it. So now I got everything all pulled out. So if you have one of those little donut things that's like foam that you could get from Sally's or whatever, something in my eye. If you have one of those, then you can usually put one of those on and kind of wrap it around, and that's a way to cheat. I used to keep the nets that used to come off of the weaves, and then I would have a bunch of those, and sometimes I'll tuck those and make hairstyles and stuff. And it works. So then now we are gonna figure out where to start her bun. So because Jeray's hair is this long, if I twist it and I wrap it, this is probably gonna end up in the front. If there is going to be a line of demarcation or something that you can see that doesn't look symmetrical, I gotta get some tissue for my eye. Or something that you can see that is not symmetrical, then you want to put it in a place where people can't see. You don't want to put your mistake or something that doesn't look neat right in the front. Which means that you have to be able to tell continuous bun going all the way around. So, for Ms. Jeree, I am going to start. You could take the hair and start wrapping it, but I'm going to twist it. I'm going to leave this hair out in the middle so that I can tuck it. Right, and then I'm going to start about right here. Usually, if you're doing some braids or anything, if you start like behind the ears or in this area, it usually ends up in the back for the most part, most of the time. So, I'm just going to start twisting just like this. And then I'll take another lock and twist around it. And it's actually to create the bulk right now. And even with me planning for the end part to come out where I want it to act, sometimes it doesn't. And then I have to get creative and come back and do the dang old thing again. So like right now, I thought if I keep this part, I can wrap it over, but I think just a few less pieces because it's already starting to get thick. Does that make sense when I'm talking out loud to y'all? Okay. So I'm gonna go through. And the trick is to kind of be mindful of this end piece, which sometimes it works when you can like twist it all the way to the end. Sometimes it works better when you don't twist it to the end and you just end up tucking the hair. You just kind of got to keep playing with it. But you do have to grab this hair from the middle symmetrically and wrap it around so that the bun doesn't look messy. Yeah, anytime somebody's hair goes up into an updo braids, we should always be adding moisture to everything that we do because we're earthly bodies and we live in this desert. Before you do a flat iron, there should be moisture on their hair. Before you put their hair up in an updo, you should definitely put something on their scalp because the darkest part of their scalp is the first part to start itching. Because I think the little microbes that live on us thrive in darkness. So once we are dirty, we haven't washed this hair in 2 to 3 weeks, there's little people living on our scalps under there in the dark. It sounds gross, but it's for real. For real. Seen Osmosis Jones? I don't know if they was on the outside of the body.
I thought you were talking about like how important here's a who. Mm-hmm. It has a whoville and that little dove.
Yeah, there you go. That's a better example.
I don't know if it's Jones and Rose.
Whoville. People.
Whovillians.
We got whovillians living on our scalp.
I don't know what those are called. I mean,
how's my bun look, y'all?
So far, so better.
So with these little short pieces, it's very hard to get those tucked in there. So I mean, when I'm styling, I'm always conscious of the small pieces because I don't wrap with those. I always wrap over those with the long ones. So whenever you're twisting and styling hair on a regular basis, you really do not want to pull really hard if it's on their scalp. But if you're doing like an elevated hairstyle and all of the tension is kind of just like on the bun ponytail, it's okay to pull it a little bit more so it'll be nice and taut. If it hurts, just ask them. For some reason, people think that tight is good, and then, you know, it's not. It pulls out the edges. That's just all it do. Edges, it pull out your hair in the middle if you pull it tight enough. So, I'm working my way through. Who feels confident enough to style Jeree's hair when I'm gone?
I can do it.
Okay. So, my hands are getting tired.
But we have to do the same style.